Hello and welcome everyone to another episode. Yes, so I've decided in light of recent events, it's time for me to launch my version of Voyager 1. For those of you who don't know, it was announced on September 12th that Voyager 1 has passed through the heliopause. Basically, from what I understand, it's basically a point where the solar wind stops or comes to a it just gets very slow, possibly, or completely stops. I'm not 100% certain. I don't know incredible amounts of things about, you know, as far as certain things, you know, like Lady launched last month. I didn't announce some of that stuff, and you know, I'm sorry about that, but this is kind of one of more of the bigger things that I figure I should at least talk about, build my own version of it, and try to do the same thing. So what we have here is, you know, basically the version, you know, the Kerbal version of a Voyager. I really tried my best to replicate it. I was looking at like multiple images and you know, really tried to copy everything as far as how the mission itself was set up and multiple things. I mean, I know that it did pass by, was it Jupiter and Saturn? So, I mean, I'm going to try to at least go by Jewel, which is supposed to be like Jupiter. So, you know, that's the best we can get for right now in this game. So, you know, maybe later on they will add another, you know, they'll add like a Saturn and other planets as well. But you know, I just find this to be completely awesome as far as the spacecraft itself and what I've built, and just, you know, this is kind of like one of those moments in time. I mean, I am a little late. It was about a week ago, September 12th. It was announced, obviously, but it really did actually happen about a year ago, a little over a year ago, in August of 2012. So, I mean, I'm a little late, but better late than never. And I just think this is amazing. It's just absolutely amazing. We need to be aimed up a little bit, you know. That's kind of the way we're trying to go. So, some of the brief outlines of this mission. Now, some of the things I kind of want to talk about and just ensure with you guys, because I haven't really done an interplanetary mission as of yet. One of the things I want to do, and I kind of want to emphasize on this, basically, we are not going to be following it this episode. Like, we're not going to go all the way to, you know, the interstellar space, if you want to call it that, in this game right now. The main reason is just the amount of time that it takes, and I do not want to just basically bore you guys with a video of this spacecraft just basically heading out into open nothingness. So what I'm going to do, and this is kind of what I have planned, is I'm going to launch it and get it basically interplanetary for now. Set it up as far as the inclination maybe in a few days, so maybe I'll just do a little update video basically on how it's doing and where we're at, and we'll slowly follow it together as far as everything, you know. I'll just do little videos of it here and there. They won't be long. Basically some of the burns, and that is about it. So that will be kind of, once again, this will be a strung along series, a small side note, nothing too huge. I just want to get this thing going. I'm trying to see if I can get it on a trajectory where it's going to pass by Jewel, as well as have some kind of a slingshot effect from Jewel, so then we can basically just use Jewel as a way to use Jewel as a slingshot to get us interplanetary. Or, well, I shouldn't say interplanetary, interstellar. So, yeah, that It's kind of the main thing, at least for now. But some of the kind of sad things, apparently I like was reading about it. It does use the thermic generators, so I slapped one of those on here. But the sad thing is that this one will last forever. The one that's on Voyager will only last until about 2025. It's been estimated. I really, you know, I don't know exactly because I was doing a lot of reading on this and I watched a few documentaries and I really wanted to see what was on the famous golden disc that they have on the Voyager. I was really kind of, I thought that was such an awesome thing that they did, so I was really just curious as to what was put on there, and you know, just to see everything, and it's just an amazing thing. It's kind of one of those monumental things like flying the Atlantic or, you know, going to the moon. I put this right up there with all of that kind of stuff, whereas some people, it's actually kind of funny because I've been talking to a lot of people about this recently, and it almost seems like almost nobody knows about this in any kind of way, which is kind of sad. And, you know, I've been watching a lot of things as far as, you know, human missions to Mars and, you know, Mars Direct and, you know, a few different things that they were talking about, and you know, it really is kind of an upsetting thing when you watch some of these documentaries and you see some of these guys who've put thousands and hundreds of man-hours into designing missions and really spending a lot of time on one specific subject only to get shot down because of funding, or it's, you know, it's just not in their campaign. It's a heavy political thing, which I think is the sad part, that we have not gone back to the moon. It's in, what, we landed in 1960, or our last mission was in 72, and we haven't gone back since, which is just, to me, I just have really no words to explain on. It's almost disgusting, and you know, a lot of people compare it to, and you'll hear a lot of the, you know, wow, I think we just ran out of fuel. No worries. You'll hear a lot of the scientists and other people also basically state that it's kind of like Columbus sailing to the New World and then just never coming back and never bothering to ever even explore any of it. And I kind of agree in the same sense, but I hate using that same like I hate using the exact same thing that they're saying. Whatever. I just, most of these videos, I don't really have a script or anything I plan on saying, so usually it's always kind of ad-libbed, if you want to call it that. But I'll do a little bit more coverage on the probe once we get out of the Kerbal system. So right now, I mean, it really does look like we don't have enough fuel, but we are more than good as far as the fuel department. At least, I think so. I did test this mission out a couple times, so I think we should be alright. You know, I'll just do one finalizing test just to be sure. If not, I'll relaunch, and I will announce if I relaunch it and stuff like that, just because I don't want to confuse you guys. Like, the next episode, all of a sudden, I go from having no fuel to having a whole bunch of fuel. So, yeah. But I'll cover the probe a little bit, and I'll show you guys exactly what I've launched, and, you know, basically how everything looks. Just get this thing pointed towards the sun so we can get some light on the subject. There we go. So I didn't want to scale out this arm on the side here. You know, a lot of the things on this thing are just, you know, there are a lot of aesthetics on this thing. It really, most of the stuff isn't going to do anything. I slapped on a barometer, even though I know we're never going to be in an atmosphere. I put on these two antenna here, and I believe these antenna... Oh, I just turned off the torque. Yeah, there we go. This one. Believe these antenna were used to measure the when it actually exited the heliopause, they were used to measure the plasma, the change in plasma, basically, in like how it would sound. I don't exactly know 100%. I mean, once again, I did watch the documentaries and stuff like that, but there's only so much that sticks. So, you know, I did the reading, I did the, you know, read the documentaries and stuff like, or watched the documentaries, but it's, you know, there's only so much that sticks. But basically, from what I was reading, the radiation equipment that they had installed on there broke down, or they shut it down, or something along the lines of that, and then they were using the radio antennas basically to measure the difference in consistency. Don't quote me on this, because I am kind of just guessing a little bit right now, but don't hate me. Please don't hate me. So anyways, after... I should mention this as well. This piece is not going to stay on there. Once we do our initial burn to get us to Jewel, which will be a flyby, that part will be decoupled. You know, this part will all be decoupled up to here. You know, the bottom of the spacecraft itself, I tried to find something, or at least recreate it in some kind of way. It looks like it almost has like built-on fairings, which I assume were attached to a rocket that, you know, basically did all of the propelling as far as once it left the surface of Earth. So I tried to recreate those like fairings with just basically a strut piece, because there really wasn't any way of recreating that. The main core I tried to recreate a little bit, and then basically it's like a separated core to where it's attached to the satellite dish in the center. And I tried my best as far as recreating that. I mean, you can see that there's a strut in the middle, and there isn't a strut in the middle on the real one, so I tried my best. You know, and I know this stuff here, I really just, you know, once again, tried my best. There's only so much you can recreate, and there's only so many parts in this game that allow you to do things like this. I mean, if I built like 10 times the size replica, and yeah, it probably would have looked a lot better. But I just think this looks awesome the way it is already, and I'm pretty much okay with the way it looks. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching. If you like what you see here, subscribe. There's always more to come, and to all you new people, welcome, and I will see you next time.